No, I don't. You're about to join? Oh, they're already joining. Great. And I'm leaving, let's see. Everybody's muted out, right? Okay. Yeah, it said right when I dial in, I said start the recording, so. Oh, hello. What'd you say, Sean? Where? Hello. Can you hear me, Sean? Can you hear me through the Zoom?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Why does it say that? Nope, it has mute, stop video, invite, manage participants. Okay. Where are you? It says everybody's Rose. I don't know why it did that. How do I unmute you? Okay. All right. We got everybody showing as Rose. Oh my goodness. Woo! All right. Well, I'm going to put this phone up so I don't hear any phone ringing because the ladies are coming on. I love it. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, Sean. Okay. I'm going to put this phone up. I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
Well, thank you to those of you who are on so nice and early. Can you hear me okay? Is the audio good?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Nice and clear?
Yes.
Yay. Awesome, awesome. I'm so excited. Well, I hope you all have journal, pen, paper, something to write on so you can take some notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This is my first time doing this, a live video seminar, so I am growing my technology IQ tonight. So I am just, I was on with my assistant, like, what, click what?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for being here. We'll get started in just a few minutes. We should have a full call or video call. I'm so excited. I'm not able to call everybody by name. I think we have Juanita on and Carmen and Linda and Milagros. And then it's showing so many of you as Rose Kenny. So I don't know why that is. I really apologize. But welcome, beautiful sisters. Hey, Sean, there you are. So if I want to unmute, do I just go to, ooh, How do I unmute?
Just go to the person's picture and click on it, and it'll say mute and unmute.
Oh, got it. All right. Very good. Hi, Nikita. Welcome. Linda, Carmen, hello. Hello, hello, beautiful sisters. Welcome, welcome. But we're going to get started in a couple minutes. Sean, what time are you showing?
It is 8:58.
Woo! Okay. I love it. I love it. We will wait a couple minutes for more folks to join us because we should have a lot of folks tonight. I'm so excited. A lot of new people. I love it. Well, hello, everyone. Hi, Keisha.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome. And Rose is on here somewhere because we sent her link out apparently to everybody. Hi, Linda. Did I already say hi to Linda? Well, this clearly was a topic that resonated with a lot of folk. Clearly, which is really wonderful. Sean, are you able to see what people put in the chat so you can send it to me via Messenger?
Yep, I sure can.
I'm
Nobody's
not able
chatting
to
yet.
see the chat, I don't think.
Nothing yet, but nobody but me.
All right. Hello, hello. I see one of the sisters that was at Manifest Your Vision this past weekend. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello, sisters. Well, we're going to get started in about another 2 minutes. If you do not have your journal or notebook and a pen to write with, this is your moment to grab. Okay. Got your stuff. Good. Someone is kicked back on her bed. Okay. We can see you. That's right. I want you all to be comfortable. Just don't fall asleep. That's all I ask. That's all I And some people have their video muted out, so that's cool as well. All right. We're going to give this 60 seconds, about 60 seconds, 90 seconds max. And we're going to get started because we got lots of juiciness to cover tonight. And this 1 hour is going to go fast. Hello, beautiful sisters. Hello. My screen is full. Good evening.
Hi.
Can you all see everybody like I can, or can you just see me?
I just see you and a few people at the top.
Oh, okay. So I get to see.
I can see you.
I can see you as well.
Okay. Hello. Beautiful sisters coming on the line. And Sean Thomas, who it says is Rose Kenny, says if there's any questions, please post them in the chat. Right, Sean? Yes. I think I should unmute you, Sean.
I got it. I'm going to be in now.
Okay. All right. Folks are coming on. Here we go.
It might be best for people to mute themselves just in case, so we don't have any background noise when you get started. And if you need to say something, then we unmute.
All right. So we're going to have everybody mute just so we don't have any background noise. And for those of you who have your video on, remember, we can see you. We can see you. Hello. Welcome. I see some more folks dialing in. Hello, good evening. I hope everybody has their journal and their notebook. This is Debrina Jackson Gandy. Thank you for being with me tonight. We are going to get rolling in just a matter of moments. So grab your journal, grab your notebook, grab your water so that everything is in arm's length and you do not have to get up and leave the flow. Hello, hello, good evening. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I hope you all are ready because we're gonna get started and folks will just have to join in as they get in. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to roll. Give me a thumbs up. I don't see everybody's thumb. Everybody ready?
We're ready.
Right. All right. Well, good evening, lovely sisters from coast to coast. We're going to have people continuing to join us as this hour goes by. My name is Debrina Jackson Gandy, and you have tuned in to my first ever what? I know I have done many, many wonderful things, but I've never done a live video seminar. So I'm growing. I'm still growing and learning and expanding my technology IQ. Tonight is about 5 ways to break the grip of overwhelm in 2019. So if you are interested in hearing 5 ways to begin to do that, clap like this so I can see you. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. We're using sign language. So I want to just take you all back a little bit to give you a little background on me, because I know that there may be people on this video seminar that are not familiar with my work. And so there may be some of you on the line that are familiar with my very first nationally published book, Sacred Pampering Principles. And that actually came out back in 1997, and it was about inner renewal and sacred self-care. And it was the book that brought sacred self-care and the term self-care into the vernacular of Black women in the United States and also in several other countries. And the book debuted in Essence magazine, February 1997, and self-care was then on the lips of women. Well, I never thought that 20 years later, that the concepts that I talked about in Sacred Pampering Principles that came out in 1997 would still be relevant today. And actually what I have found, that even with all of our technology and our modern conveniences, that actually women are feeling more stressed and overwhelmed than they were when I wrote the book. So tonight is about beginning to usher you out of what I call the REBOO, R-E-B-O-O, that's an acronym, and I'll tell you what that means in a minute, helping to usher you out of the REBOO lifestyle into the juicy woman lifestyle. The REBOO lifestyle is the one we're born into. It's the one we're conditioned into. It's the one our upbringing supports. It's the one that our conditioning supports. I call it the REBOO lifestyle. And it's characterized by ripping and running, R in REBOO, E, efforting, B, busyness, O, overwhelm, and the last O of REBOO, overdoing. Ripping and running, efforting, busyness, overwhelm, and overdoing. So when you look around and you observe and you watch how most women are doing their lives, and often especially sisters, you will see REBOO is all up in how we have been living, operating, relating, and engaging. If you have seen that or experienced that in your own life, clap for me so I know. If you have seen or experienced that in your own life, clap for me. Wonderful. So what I want to share with you, even before I get into the first way to break the grip of overwhelm, is I want to let you know that extracting yourself out of the REBOO way of doing life is not an overnight endeavor. Because since about the age of 2 or 3, and I've done some research, since about the age of 2 or 3, we start being indoctrinated into the REBOO lifestyle, believe it or not. In my Love Academy, which is my full day intensive, I talk about love relationships and the programming we start to receive as women that supports what I call the love lies paradigm. And I talk about our first significant toy that we get, the baby doll. How many folks received a baby doll as a gift? Raise your hand if you ever received a baby doll as a gift. I think I see every hand up except one. And we start to receive cues and clues about how to engage with other humans based upon that baby doll. We're only 2 or 3 ourselves. We may still be in Pampers. We may still be in pull-ups. And we receive the significant gift with great pride, usually from a female, our mother, a grandma, an auntie. And we are ushered into, at only 2 years of age ourselves, or 3 years of age ourselves, we're ushered into being a mommy to a toy. And it's a toy that, interestingly enough, is a replica of a helpless human infant. So we are only 36 months on the planet ourselves, 24 months on the planet ourselves, and we now are replicating, playing mommy to this replica of a helpless human infant. So this doing and overdoing and being at the disposal of others and being the nurturer and the caretaker and always having to consider and think about the needs of others started at a very, very, very young age. So that's why this is not an overnight recovery, and we can begin to enter into this conversation, but it really requires some serious detoxing, because this reboot paradigm is wide and deep, and it's reinforced, often by other women. It isn't just other folks, it's often other women as well. So it really takes an overhaul of your very beliefs, which are the foundation of your life. So we don't have time to do the overhaul work tonight, but we do have time to touch upon 5 premises that I hope will help you begin to break the grip, because it is a grip. Now, when I share something that I want to be sure you all get, I'm going to ring my little fake cowbell like this, because I don't want you all to miss the nugget. All right? So I want everyone to know that I am going to be also sharing a very special announcement at the end, near the end of this broadcast, because I know that tonight I do not have the time to actually help you detox from the reboot lifestyle, but I can give you a little itty bitty taste on how to make some shifts in your behavior. But to truly overhaul your thinking, your belief system, and come out of reboot and enter into what I call the juicy woman lifestyle, where joy and ease and peace and order and flow are your norm, it is a process. And I'm going to tell you more about that process should you be interested in engaging in it with me and some other fabulous women from across the country that will be going on a journey together. But I'll be telling you about that near the end. So we are going to jump right in. So remember, if you have something that you want to send to Sean, who's one of my staff that is standing by, if you have questions, write them down. If you have something you want to send to Sean so she can relay it to me for questions near the end of the broadcast, please use that chat that's across the bottom of your screen. So here we go. You should all have your notebook and your pen. So how do we begin? Begin is the key word. Begin to break the grip of overwhelm. And I'll just say, I hope everyone understands what I mean by overwhelm. So I'm referring to the feeling or the experience in our lives of it's all too much. I feel like I'm up to here and barely keeping my chin above the water. Or you may feel like you're actually over your head. Or you feel like I can't keep up. There's too much to do and not enough time. You may even feel powerless. You may feel even a little hopeless. Those are all ways that we can feel and what the experience can be when we are in overwhelm. So I want to start with the first premise that will support you in beginning to break the grip of overwhelm. So I'm going to be sharing a premise, then I'm going to be sharing a new truth. So when we talk about beliefs, the same way that software determines what a computer does, not the hardware, the software does. Our beliefs are like our human software. And so often we never stop to examine our beliefs, we just live from them. So the reboot lifestyle, that ripping and running, efforting, busyness, overwhelm, and overdoing, there's a lot of beliefs we have never challenged, we just had it served to us, and we accepted it, and it's become the norm. I'm here to tell you, there is another way to be existing as a woman, but it requires an overhaul of the beliefs that we have been conditioned and programmed into. So I'll be sharing with you a premise. I'll be sharing with you a new truth to consider. And then I'll be offering up some things for you to reflect and think about regarding each of the 5 ways I'll be sharing about. So, does that sound good? Yes? Clap so I know everyone's muted. Sounds good? Okay, let's jump right in. The first premise, the first way to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. The first premise is this. This is a new belief. My energy is mine. It belongs to me. And I decide how, when, where, and on whom I use my energy. Now, that may sound like a given, but guess what? We tend not to behave as if our energy is our own. We tend to behave as if our energy and our time is laid claim to by other folks. Hence the reason when we say no, we can feel guilty. How can we feel guilty about saying no about the use of our time and energy? Because the quiet undercurrent, the belief that we're conditioned into says my energy is not mine. Other people get to say how I use my time and energy. It belongs to everybody, or it belongs to my family. So the first premise so that you can begin to break the grip of overwhelm is recognize that my energy is mine. It belongs to me. And you get to decide how, when, where, and on whom you use your energy. So your energy is a gift to other people. Your time is a gift to other people. But we often behave as if it's an obligation, that other people get to lay claim to our energy and our time. Now, it's going to require some retraining, ladies, because a lot of us have been behaving as if our energy belongs to everybody else. And that can include folks at church, that can include people at work. So we may have to retrain some folks because we've trained them to treat our energy as not our own, as it belonging to everybody else. So, the new truth is my energy is my own. It belongs to me, and I get to decide how, when, where, and on whom I use my energy. Now, if you have been struggling with that truth, this is from the Juicy Woman Lifestyle. This is a premise and a truth from the Juicy Woman Lifestyle. If you've been struggling with that, and really you haven't been living in accord with that, here's some of the ways it shows up. You have a hard time saying no. Or if you do say no, you feel you have to go into all this explanation to the other person. Or if you say no, you feel guilty, meaning you feel bad. That's that reboot programming coming up. If we say no to someone else about the use of our time or energy, which is a gift, and we feel guilty, that means we have that infected reboot thinking that's at play. How do you know if you're not yet operating in that truth that my energy is mine? You also can feel resentful, or if you feel frustrated, or you feel tired. You probably have not been operating from this first premise, this juicy woman truth, that your energy is yours, that it belongs to you, and that you get to decide how, when, where, and on whom you use your energy. If your energy is going away from you and into relationships that are not reciprocal, so no energy is returning, it's only going one direction, but it's not returning, that's a sign that you're not operating in this new truth, in this new premise. And that is keeping overwhelm gripping you. So here is a new truth I want you to step into. So that's a premise, one of the premises that will help you begin to break the grip of overwhelm. So here's the new truth. I am the primary guardian and caretaker of my energy. So now I want you to think of yourself as a caretaker and a guardian of your energy. And when you shift to recognizing you're the caretaker and guardian of your energy, you will start to move differently in your life. You will start to engage differently in your life. You will start to say yes and no to different things in your life. If this is making sense, let me see some palms. Is this making sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yes? All right. So that first premise is about energy, how to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. Let's move on to premise number 2. Premise number 2, subtraction can be liberating. Subtraction can be liberating. Now, in this Western American culture, this culture of public storage on every corner, this culture of people having way too much stuff, in this culture of us having all kinds of books on decluttering and less is more, you wouldn't think that subtraction is liberating. It's almost counterintuitive, but this is the second way to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. Subtraction is liberating. So I want to digress for a moment to share with you the principle of pruning. My mother, Dr. Thelma Jackson, is a master gardener. And I would see her take out her shears and she would actually prune certain rose bushes. She would prune certain trees on our property when we were growing up. And initially when the pruning occurred, it looked like there was a loss to the plant. But the next season, the plant came back bearing more fruit or more flower buds, and there was exceptional growth the season after the pruning. So pruning operates on the principle of subtraction. That not only can subtraction lead to more liberation, but it can lead to new growth. So now my invitation to you to begin to break the grip of overwhelm is to look to see where you need to put subtraction into play in your life. I want you to look around and do a scan of your life to see what things you need to subtract. They need to go to Goodwill. They need to go to a women's shelter. They need to go to your living room where your friends come over and you actually generate money from what you want to liquidate and release, but less things, less stuff. Go check out the closet. And now we've started to do this whole closet decluttering, so this isn't new. But in your closet, anything you have not touched in 365 days, subtract it. And don't only put it in a bag and then put it in another closet in the back. That's called relocation. We don't want no relocation. We don't want no relocation. We want subtraction off the premises. Release it. All right? So what stuff do you need to subtract? What time, energy, and attention do you need to subtract from certain relationships? You know, I've seen on Facebook where people have these memes talking about, I need to cut people out of my life. I need to X people out of my life. I'm elevating. You don't have to do all that. You need to look at the time, the energy, and the attention that you've been investing in certain relationships and subtract some of it. Just subtract some of your TEA, time, energy, and or attention. So are there some relationships where you need to do some subtraction? Are there some things you're involved in that you need to put an end to? You need to subtract them. You need to decline, withdraw, complete. Just today, well, actually 2 weeks ago, I went to a conference with a friend of mine called the Wealth Experience, and MC Light, the rap legend from the 90s, her Hip Hop Sisters Foundation is who sponsored it. And so I went to this one seminar, and one of the exercises that the seminar facilitator asked us to do was to write down all the things that we're involved in. And so I was looking at all the different boards and councils and advisory councils that I'm on. And each one, when I got to it, I checked in with my energy to see if it felt light or if it felt heavy or burdening. And what I realized as I went down that list is there was some councils and boards and advisory groups that I needed to bow out of. And so today I had one of those board meetings, and they were talking about all kinds of wonderful plans for 2019. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of exciting things happening. Maybe I shouldn't complete my time on the board. And then I said, no, 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 no. To thine own self be true. My business grew 40% last year. That's huge. And it's on schedule, right, Sean? To grow at least 50% this year. It's requiring more bandwidth. It's requiring more travel. It's requiring more engagement. It's requiring more visibility. And there's also another movement that I've launched here in Seattle that is taking off in ways I never anticipated. And so after the meeting, I called the board president over and I called the executive director over and I said, you all, I need to give you an update on what's happening with Debrina. Expansion and elevation is happening in all areas of my life. It is requiring more of my bandwidth, and I'm going to be completing my 3 years on this board. And they were like, no, 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 we don't want you to go. Now, I would rather people be sad I'm leaving than pushing me out the door. And if you've done a good job, they don't want you to leave. And there's never a good time for a good person to decide to leave. That's just how it is. And so after I completed announcing that to them, I felt lighter. And I knew I'd done the right thing. Then when I came home, I reached out to another executive director where I'm on the leadership council of their organization. and I've been MC for their galas, and I give them great ideas that work and all that stuff. And with all that, I said, it is now time for me to complete my service. It has been amazing. I am honored. I am delighted to have been able to make a contribution. And it's time for me to complete my service here. So sometimes the subtraction can look like bowing out if you've been participating in something for a while. So I want you to pause a moment and think about, where do you need to activate the power of subtraction in your life? Not addition. We're not talking about addition. We have enough addition going on. We're talking about subtraction. Does everybody have things that they can subtract? Or a subtraction of time, energy, and attention in certain relationships, or certain things you're involved in? Is anybody struggling coming up with some things to subtract? I hope not. And subtraction can also apply to bad habits. I'm in a program at my local Y, and it is helping me change my eating habits. And they don't want you to be on a stringent diet, but they do talk about what is something you might subtract from your diet. So there might be a habit that you need to subtract. Okay? So everybody has something, the power of subtraction, something that they can subtract, or multiple things they can subtract or shift or decline or bow out of, things they need to release that they can subtract from their space because things absorb energy. Someone said, I'm very involved in too much. So I want you to think about what you need to complete with. Someone said, I need to subtract my binge watching Hulu. Okay. All right. Things you can subtract. Shifts in relationships, time, energy, and attention you can subtract. A habit you want to subtract. An involvement you want to subtract. Everybody have something? Let me know. Go like this if you have something. Hopefully no one is struggling. Good. Okay, number 3. How to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. Ha-ha. But let me tell you, there's a difference between happiness and joy. And in this country, we're told that we are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's exactly what we do. We chase it. We pursue it. We think we get it through money, through other people. And the truth of the matter, and this is premise number 3, or way number 3, is to recognize that it's not about pursuing happiness. It's about recognizing that joy is not an emotion, it's a state of being. And that joy is my natural state of being. Because happiness is really based on external circumstances. I can be here on this live video with you all, and I hear someone crash into my car out there, and I go from happy, feeling good, and then I see someone has crashed into my door, and I then go into being pissed. My emotional state can change from moment to moment. But joy is not an emotion. It's a state of being. And it is not contingent upon my circumstances. So one of the shifts in where your attention goes is to not so much from trying to pursue happiness, but connect to your natural state of being. Can think of joy like a river that's available inside of you, but you got to connect to it. And it's always there, it's always available, and it's always flowing, and it never runs out. That's a shift, because most of the books, for example, in this country, they talk about happy, 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 happy. That's elusive. But if you start to put your attention on being in your natural state of joy, returning to your natural state of joy, and connecting to your inner river of joy, it will transcend your circumstances. So let me just remind us how I know that joy is our natural state of being. And that's really what our attention should be on, because that will help you begin to break the grip of overwhelm. In a few minutes, I'll be talking about, okay, Debrina, you said connect to my joy. Well, how do I do that? But first, I want to make a case for joy is your natural state and your first nature. If you go to a playground and you watch 2- and 3-year-olds, they have not started elementary school, they are not in the schooling system yet, and you watch those 2- and 3-year-olds, and you watch their energy, you watch how they interact, you watch their life force, they are in a natural state of joy. That is the natural state for all of us. And as we get older, we get socialized and we get conditioned, we get disconnected from our joy, though it is still there inside of us. It's like a river that got covered with logs and dirt. Well, if you clear the logs and dirt, the river is still there and will flow again. So in John 15:11, one of my favorite books is called the Holy Bible. Some of you may be familiar with it. In one of my favorite books, the Holy Bible, in John 15:11, it says, and this is our Creator speaking to us. And the passage says, that my joy, capital M, my joy, the Creator's joy, may remain in you, meaning me and you, and that your joy may be full. That my joy may remain. Remain means it was already there. And that your joy may be full. So the intention of the Creator, how we are designed and made, is for our joy to be on F for full. Ooh, that's some good news, y'all. How come so many of us don't have an experience of being joyful? So the first thing you need to know is joy is your natural state. Joy is your first nature. You just got to reconnect to it or clean your joy river out so it can get flowing again. So your new truth to recognize to help break the grip of overwhelm is that I am created with joy as my first nature, and my joy is to be on full. So one of the things that we talk about in Juicy Woman University, which is a 12-month lifestyle transformation course that I offer, and it's actually broken up into 4 modules. And one of the topics that we talk about is how to connect to our joy on a daily basis, because it is a daily connection or reconnection depending on how your day unfolds. But most people, if you look at how their day starts and how they start their day, there is not intentional time set aside, meaning sacred time set aside to connect to that joy. Because of our conditioning and programming, we have to connect to it. A 2- or 3-year-old is already connected to it. We have to reconnect. So more on that a little bit later. But that is why we spend time in Juicy Woman University talking about sacred spiritual practices that connect us and reconnect us to our joy, and the difference it makes in how life responds to you and how life unfolds for you when you understand that joy is your first nature and you have intentional practices for connecting to it. But we got to move on. So let's move on to the next way to break the grip of overwhelm. And I call it the 3 S's. The first S stands for silence. The second S stands for stillness. And the third S stands for solitude. Silence, stillness, and solitude. Now, those are also 3 things that the feminine spirit, the spirit and essence of woman, particularly loves. Because if you think about it, there's usually some noise going on at all times around us. We might have appliances, dishwasher, washing machine, TV, people on their phones, music. We get in the car, we turn on the music, we are taking mass transit, we put earphones in our ears, we're listening to stuff. So silence is precious and too rare. So how to begin to break the grip of overwhelm? You start to build silence into your day. And really, at the top of your day is a powerful time where you set the tone and you get yourself grounded and centered. The top of your day is a powerful time to start with silence. Here's the other thing that happens in silence. You can actually begin to distinguish your inner self-talk from the voice of the Holy Spirit. A lot of times there's so much interference going on and movement and noise that we cannot hear the voice of the Holy Spirit that is always communicating to us, by the way. So silence and then solitude, where you get to develop an appreciation of your own energy, your own presence, your own thoughts, your own ideas. Can you all still hear me? One person said that their audio went out. Can you all hear me? You can still hear me? Okay, good. So what happens in solitude, where you get to enjoy your own company? You get to delight in your own energy. You get to appreciate your own energy and thoughts. And a lot of times there's people around us constantly, and there isn't enough solitude in our lives. And then stillness. Stillness actually recharges your mind and your spirit. Isn't that amazing? To recharge our mind and our spirit, to bring clarity to our mind and recharge our spirit, we can just hold still. But what happens? We're usually on the go in constant motion. And the only time we sit down is because we're worn out and exhausted and tired. Now, those 3 S's don't cost a dime. And if I could be a video camera and I tracked each of us on this call, on this broadcast for a week, and a camera crew followed you around for a week, would they see silence and solitude and stillness as an integral part of how you roll and how you live your life? Someone said, Debrina, this runs counter to the idea that we need to multitask. Who said we need to multitask? That's a belief. Let that belief go. It is no longer about multitasking. It's about single-minded focus and being present. That's the hot commodity now. Who said we need to multitask? Challenge. Who said that? And anyway, your energy is your own, so that doesn't have to be your MO. Okay? All right. Premise number 5. how to break the grip of overwhelm. So the same way I talked about integrating the 3 S's, silence, stillness, and solitude into your life, and ideally at the top of your morning to set the tone for your day, to raise your vibration. Premise number 5 is about integrating R-E, into your life. So what do I mean by re? I mean words that begin with re tend to serve our spirit and help us break the grip of overwhelm. So I'm going to have you all write some things in the chat box. I'm going to give you a few re words because we want to integrate more re into our lives. Re words help us break the grip of overwhelm. So here's a few. Renewal, rejuvenation, relaxation, reset, retreat, reevaluate. Even the word rest starts with regroup, reconnect, revise, reflect, recharge. Are there some other re-words? Put them in that chat box. Reclaim. Oh, yes, I love that. Reclaim. Any more re-words? Rejoice. Yes. Restore. Rechannel. I love it. Yes, those are juicy. So re-words tend to support us breaking, reposition. Ooh, that's good. Reseed. Yes. I didn't mention that when I said I'm only choosing 5 ways, but learning how to become a gracious receiver, ladies, that will begin to break the grip of overwhelm almost faster than anything else. And in Juicy Woman University, we talk about growing the muscle of learning how to be a gracious receiver because we tend to be overdoers. And especially for those of us who are in a love relationship or desire to be in a love relationship, or we're in a marriage, you can completely transform the dynamics of your interactions with men by learning how to be a gracious receiver. Did y'all get that? I need 2 for that one. Oh my goodness. We're out of order when we're doing in the space of our relationships. Look at the sexual anatomy. We are designed to receive. Men are designed to give. Look at the design of the sexual anatomy. And we have been doing way too much. When we say, oh, women, we're givers, we're supposed to be receivers. Men are the givers in the space of love relationships. What? What? Yes, we've been out of order. So as you begin to integrate more re into your life, and you can just do a brainstorm of some of those re words. These were some good ones that came up tonight. Start to look to see where in your life you can put more re into your life so it's built into the fabric of your life. So as we come to this final stretch of this call, I also have a few tools I want to share with you. So we talked about the first premise. My energy is mine. It belongs to me. I decide how, when, where, and on whom I use my energy. Your time and energy is a gift. You get to decide who you share it with and who you extend it to. You might need to retrain some people because you've trained them to behave as if your energy and time is theirs. Premise number 2, to begin to break the grip, subtraction can be liberating. So where do you need to subtract in terms of things and stuff? Release, don't just relocate it. What habits might you need to subtract if you were going to just choose one? Time, energy, and attention from relationships, do you need to subtract some of that? Are there some volunteer committees, groups, boards, councils? I today gave my notice to 2 different boards. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm completing my service. I will still give money, but I'm completing my service. Premise number 3, joy is your natural state of being. We spend a lot of time in Juicy Woman University talking about how to intentionally connect to your joy, because that is not something that in this culture we put a lot of emphasis and attention on. We talk about chase, pursue, strive, compete. We don't talk about connecting to our joy. So we have to unlearn a whole bunch of behaviors and relearn those that are more in line with a juicy woman's lifestyle. Premise number 4 was about the 3 S's: silence, solitude, and stillness. And then premise 5 was integrating re into your life. Now, what will happen if you adhere to these premises and you make them real in your life? You will start to break the grip of overwhelm. There will be a shift in the rhythm of your life. There will be a shift in how other people engage with you. So I want to share with you a tool and a technique that I use in my life. One is that next to my bed, on my nightstand, I have a box of pieces of paper like this, scratch pieces of paper, because on the back it's scratched. And I have several pens that are in the box along with a lot of these sizes of pieces of paper, because before I go to sleep, I get out of my brain all the essential actions that I need to take care of the next day. So I don't go to sleep with them on my mind. So I don't take a long time to actually get to sleep because I'm running through my mind stuff I got to do. There have been times where I was almost asleep and boom, a to-do for the next day occurred to my mind. Turn on the night light, write that down. I want to have a clear mind. I want to sleep soundly. I don't have my dreams about that action I never wrote out. So here's a tool I use, is a little to-do list, night dump before I go to sleep. And then when I wake up and I come into my office, what do? Pick up the piece of paper and bring it here into my office. So that's one tool I recommend. And it may be a little notebook, something portable though. You may have, a notebook like this instead, that's small, and maybe you rip the page off, okay? But it should be something easily portable so that before you go to bed, dump that mind out, okay? So that is one tool that I use. And then, and this is something that is part of your daily prayer and meditation practice. In my 12-month program, Juicy Women University, we talk about sacred self-care, the sacred self-caring consciousness, what that is, and how we can start our mornings in a powerful and intentional way. So I really recommend that every woman has a spiritual journal. It's not a journal for her goals. It's not a journal, for her like business goals. It's not a journal for, her to-do list around the house. It is a journal that's specifically for her spiritual development. So here's a couple of my journals. I've gone through literally, 40 of them in my life so far. And these are a couple of them. And in the course, we talk about, okay, what do you use that journal for? How do you powerfully write gratitudes? How do you put asks forth during your prayer time and write them in your spiritual journal, and et cetera, et cetera. So those are a couple of tools that I recommend that every woman has. That night dump to-do list beside your bed, and then also your spiritual tools. So that is what I wanted to share with you in terms of 5 ways to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. So these were all behaviors that you can put into place. But really what I'm committed to with women is coming out of that reboot lifestyle altogether and creating a new norm for us. I call that the Juicy Woman lifestyle. And there's a completely different set of principles and beliefs and practices that accompany the Juicy Woman lifestyle. And it is a departure of what our conditioning and our upbringing has given us. I have seen the magic, the miracles, and the manifestations that have happened in women's lives as they have come out of reboot, healed and detoxed from reboot, because boy, those reboot beliefs are deep. Those reboot roots are deep. So it takes a while to uproot those. But the beautiful fruit that the Juicy Woman lifestyle yields is more joy, more peace, deeper peace, more order, more ease. Oh my goodness, more ease, and more what I call flow ductivity. That's a Debrinaism. Flow ductivity, yes, it's a completely different way to get things done, where you still honor your feminine essence and your feminine spirit versus the assault of often masculine styles and ways of producing and getting things done. Flow ductivity, but that requires completely different muscles to be cultivated. So ladies, before we go, I wanted to tell you just a little bit more about Juicy Woman University. I think we might even have a couple of women on the line that are graduates of the 2018 class. And it absolutely is a 12-month course because it's about transforming your lifestyle. It's not just about a few tips and a few techniques. It's about creating a new breed of woman, the Juicy Woman. So I want to know, is Ty on the line or is Marissa on the line? If you all are on, can you unmute your mic and let me know you're there?
Ty's on the line. Miss Sabrina, Ty's on the line.
Hey, Miss Ty, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm amazing. Well, we have a live video seminar call going on, as you know, with women that may not be familiar with this new paradigm that we learn about in Juicy Woman University. And I wanted you to take a moment and share about some of the changes and the shifts and the impact of the 12-month program that just got done last month. And the reason I want you ladies to hear this, it's one thing for me to say something about it. I created it, I developed it, and it's easy for me to say, oh, the results are amazing. But when you can hear from someone who's come through the process, who has started to actually shift their beliefs, started to think differently, elevate their mindset, detox and release the reboot ways of living, and can talk about the real impact and difference it makes. It makes a difference if you're hearing from someone else. So Ty, you got about a minute. What do you want to tell the sisters on the line? Because you know I'm going to put an invitation forth to all of you in about 2 minutes. And I got a special gift for you as well. So Ty, what you want to say?
Thank you, Miss Sabrina. Well, sisters, ladies, I just wanted to let you know that this opportunity is you must take it. So for me, in about a year, I was able to double my income. I just was able to bring the position. But it doubled. I saw my relationship with my family restored. I think in 2018, I probably spent more beneficial time with my mother than I had in the 15 years that I had been out of her home, based on the forgiveness and the release work that I completed with Miss Sabrina. And honestly, the biggest change I can say was the changes that I saw in me. I started out this journey looking for God or looking for this and looking for that. But because I was able to get in touch with myself, I was able then to start receiving all of the things that God had intended for me. I found God through finding myself. And it's something that answered and began to answer the questions, like, why can't I reach this goal? What's wrong? I'm almost there, but why can't I just enter into things that God has had for me? And I've seen those doors open through taking this class.
Wow.
It's been completely beneficial to my 34 years of life. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ty. Awesome, awesome. Well, I had another
Sabrina, it's Marissa.
Oh, okay, girl, you got 30 seconds.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't figure out how to mute.
Thank you, Ty. Go ahead, Marissa. Yes,
I think the only thing that I'll add from having taken the Juicy Woman course from my perspective and what was going on in my life is that I had a really challenging year in 2018, and going through the course and, like Debrina says, learning how to shift out of this reboot lifestyle helped me learn how to deal with the challenges that life brings to you and understand how to pivot them for your benefit and not get caught up and drowning in them and being reactionary. So that was really the biggest value for me, was that it allowed me to be able to take some pretty tough circumstances and shift them to be a part of my positive growth instead of something that overwhelmed me.
And didn't you have a job change? Didn't you just negotiate?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Your optimum income?
Yes. Yes. So I just started a new job, and I did negotiate for more money, and I just actually left there. I'm working remote, and I'm getting paid full time, but working part time, and because that's always the goal. So it's best case scenario right now, not where I thought I would be this year. But I learned a lot through learning how not to be reactionary to the things that happen in my life. That was like the biggest lesson of this last year, because I think some of the work that I've done with Sabrina, if you're really reactionary in things that are happening to your life and you can't take a long picture view, you get caught up in replicating the same cycles of things that you don't run. And so I think that was an important lesson I learned this year in terms of manifestation. Like you can't manifest the things that you want if you're still operating in the same ways that you've always been, or if you're driven and motivated by fear.
Woo! Amen. So ladies, so thank you, Ty, thank you, Marissa. As we are in the final 2 minutes or so of this call, I want to just extend an invitation to every single one of you on this line to journey with us in 2019 in Juicy Woman University. The first class starts on the 22nd, which is next Tuesday. And tomorrow, the 16th, is when registration closes. We expect a full class once again. This is a cohort community. So what makes this unique is you are traveling for 12 months through a course where we come together twice a month, real-time live, not a recording, but real-time live, where you have a juicy buddy assigned to you to support you and for you to cheer each other on, where you get one-on-one coaching over the course of the 12 months. You get to have 3 personal laser coaching sessions with me that are no additional cost. You don't have to be part of a mastermind group or pay some premium. It's part of the support. We have a Facebook group where we have communication. We post resources. I'll be doing Facebook Live broadcasts. We have a sacred syllabus that lays out the 12 months into 4 modules. The first module is about laying a new foundation for your life. The second module is about the sacred self-caring consciousness and how to put practices and tools into your life that will support you breaking the grip of the reboot lifestyle. Then the third module is about shifting, healing, detoxing, and forgiveness work. You know, we often talk about forgiveness, but we haven't been led through a forgiveness process. And so we don't just talk about it. In Juicy Woman University, we enter into it because we know real freedom has forgiveness as an essential part of the process. And then the last part of the course is about manifestation and alignment. We look at the spiritual manifestation formula. A lot of us are not bringing things forth in our lives because we don't know that there are spiritual principles of manifestation, and we often are violating them. So that whole last quarter is about manifestation and alignment. We also have guest luminaries, juicy women, juicy sisters that I bring in to pour into you all that are masters in their particular life areas. So all of this is part of Juicy Woman University. It is an intimate and connected community. You matter. We even do roll call on the calls. So if you're not there, we miss your energy. This isn't like, oh, here's the recording. No, this is about a community of women looking to come out of reboot and move into a whole new breed of woman and a new paradigm called the Juicy Woman lifestyle together. So here's what I want to share with you, because you only have until tomorrow if you would like to be part of this. We still have some spaces left, and I would love to have you join us. Ordinarily, it's $109 a month for Juicy Woman University. But for you on this live seminar tonight, there's a special coupon code. Now, what I see is that there's also in the chat, there's a link that's been provided. But what I want to let you know is that there's a special coupon code, and the code is the word special. And you will get $10 off each month's tuition. This is an investment in you. It is tuition. So you'll save $120 throughout the year. And if you look at the value with the sacred syllabus, the guest luminaries, you get the bonus of the Juicy Woman's Creed. You get the laser coaching. You get the Facebook group. You get the curriculum. Someone said, the course changed my life. That is easily a $5,800 investment. If I put all the dollars together, the coaching time, the teaching time, the time of the guest luminaries, but it's only $99 a month. You get to save $10 if you put in the special coupon code. So you can go to milliondollarmentor.net, milliondollarmentor.net, which is my website, and you can click on Juicy Woman University. You can click on the courses, and you can put that special code in. If you have a question, let's see. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat. The first night is the 22nd, our orientation, and then we get together twice a month, second and fourth Tuesdays. So with that, I want to thank all of you for being part of this 5 ways to begin to break the grip of overwhelm. And if any of this was useful for you, if any of this was tasty, if any of this was a contribution to you, I encourage you to come on the journey. Excuse me, we just scratched the surface tonight. I invite you to be part of Juicy Woman University. So it's from 6 to 7:30 Pacific time, twice a month. And if you're on the East Coast, it's 9 to 10:30. So you get to put the kids to bed, you get to eat, you get to take care of all your other stuff so you can focus on self. This is your investment in you and your elevation and your liberation. Woo! So with that, if you all want to unmute, I want to bid good night. Have us all bid good night. So unmute. Unmute, unmute, unmute. So thank you all for hanging on. You know, it's 6 minutes after the hour. So especially you on the East Coast.
Good night.
For hanging on late. And hope to see you at Juicy Woman University. You can send me an email if you have a burning question. There are women putting notes in the chat that were part of Juicy Woman University this past year. They're putting all kinds of stuff in there. I see you, Deb. I see you, Tony. So ladies, we'd love to have you join us. Thank you for taking this time out tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Did you get it?
Yes.
Very good.
Useful.
Great. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you'll be on the journey. Hey, Tony. Hey, Dr. Secret.
Yeah,
so I hope
thank
you all be on the journey with this. You only have until tomorrow. $1,000,000mentor.net. Juicy
Come
Women
on and join the greatness.
Woo, woo. Love to have you. All right. Good night, beautiful ladies.
Good night.
Good night.
Mwah,
night.
mwah, mwah. Sean, did you have anything to add before you hung up?
I'm the one typing, so yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for putting the link in there, $1,000,000mentor.net. Are there any burning questions? I see there's about 30 folks hanging on the line. Are there any burning questions you have for me?
Miss Sabrina, do we send you an email if we have a question?
You can ask me now. Do you know what your question is?
No, I wanted to know if we do for enrollment. Do we send you a question if we have a question about enrollment?
Oh yeah. When you go to $1,000,000mentor.net and you click on course or Juicy Woman, it's very thorough and comprehensive, the information it gives you. So if it doesn't answer all your questions, then yes, email me right away, because tomorrow night registration closes and we expect a full class once again. So don't hesitate to email me, Dabrina@$1,000,000mentor.net or info@$1,000,000mentor.net. Okay?
Got it.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Bye.
I hope
Is
you
there
join.
another question? Any more questions? All you beautiful ladies are looking at me. Is there questions? Or maybe there's a question about the premises or the 5 ways to break the grip. Does someone have a question about that? A scenario you want to ask about? No? No?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
I've been recently discovering that one of the main person that is draining my energy, or my energy feels drained up with being around, is my mom. So being that she's the matriarch, she's my sole guardian for all of my life. She has a business, which I've been the main partner with helping with. How do I balance that out? Because, God forbid, my mom's not here anymore. I just want to know. I just want to know how I can, honor myself and be available to her without it being at the expense of my own mental and emotional and spiritual well-being.
Yes. So, great question. Was that Bianca?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, honey. So the first thing is going to be ultra important that you have a morning practice that powers up your mind, your body, and your spirit and reconnects you to your joy. You cannot afford not to. Okay, so that's the first thing, because what will happen is when you come into the vortex of your mother's energy, her low vibration energy, or her frenetic energy, or whatever kind of energy it's been, will overpower yours. But when you take time in the morning, that silence, that stillness, that solitude, that connecting to your inner river of joy, your vibration then becomes the stronger vibration. So it won't keep getting tsunamied over by her energy. Secondly, is when you start to make the shift into the Juicy Woman lifestyle, the other women around you, mothers, sisters, aunties, start to be impacted by your shift. And you can actually start to create transformation in them as they respond to the new emerging version of yourself. Did you get that?
Yes.
Do you have a morning practice right now?
I started it, but for the past few days, I would say the beginning of this week, I actually worked on my day off, which is, a habit of mine. My pattern, kind of just got thrown off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't do my meditations. I haven't been back to the gym yet, you know, and this is just in like 2-3 days time, and I'm feeling it. You know, my cycle is starting, so there's a lot of things going on with me right now.
Gotcha. So you got to get rerouted and regrounded, my dear. Immediately. Because see what happens. Did you all see the movie The Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that scene? It was a famous scene they used in the trailer where the bullets from the agents of the Matrix are being shot at Neo, and he did this slow motion back bend thing, and the bullets went over him. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some of you remember that? Okay. So as you start to step into a juicy woman's way of living, being, the practices, the morning anchoring rituals, bullets will still come at you, but they don't penetrate you and draw blood like they did before. It'll be the metaphoric equivalent of the bullets whoosh, going by you that you used to trap and they used to draw blood. So how I know that we need to get you more anchored and we need to get your vibration up is because when you come into the presence of your mother, who I know you love, her energy is overwhelming. And her energy is dominating the space.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get you powered up literally and reconnected to your joy. Praying and meditating, sending out divine communication, shifting into hearing and receiving, meditation. Most of us pray, and we are imbalanced. We're not shifting into receiving and hearing and listening. So we want to get you balanced, praying and meditating, and the other elements that make for a powerful time of sacred prayer and meditation in the morning. And we want to get it to the point where, because these last 3 days, you said you've kind of been off, right?
Yeah.
Have you brushed your teeth every morning?
Yes.
Even though it's been hectic?
Yes.
Even though you felt a little off?
Yes.
So what would our lives be like if our daily prayer and meditation was as non-negotiable and built into our daily morning practice as brushing our teeth? Because we do it no matter what. That's where we want to get you. That's where we want to get you to. Where that spiritual practice is just as integral and non-negotiable as your hygiene practice of showering or brushing your teeth. And for a juicy woman, that's what her life looks like. If you could peek into her life, she has daily prayer and meditation and the other elements of her sacred spiritual time built into her life. That is the aspiration and the intention. Okay, you got it, girl?
I got it. Thank you.
Lovely. Tony, what did you say? Once you put into practice the daily prayer and meditation constantly. Oh my goodness. I teach that the reason that prayer and meditation are both essential pieces of divine communication. Prayer represents the masculine and meditation represents the feminine. We're not taught that. We didn't know that. So a lot of us are praying, and the feminine aspect of divine communication is missing.
Stop talking.
And receive. Yeah. So ladies, any other final questions on the awesome offer we've put forth to you? I don't want any confusion or any confusion about anything I shared tonight. The premises. We still have like over 20 women still on the line. This is just so wonderful. So is there questions you all have? No? No questions?
No, I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's that?
Felicia.
Yes, Felicia.
Okay. My question is, thank you so much for doing this. This is so awesome.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
I totally get it, definitely, as far as having that stillness time and morning solitude and meditation. My question, maybe this is out for you and the group, is how can you do this when you have small children? I have 2 girls, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, that come into my bedroom very early in the morning, and they interrupt that solitude and that silence and prayer meditation time that I delegate for myself.
Yeah. So your daughters, they are able to understand and speak, right? At 3,
Yes.
You know the 4-year-old, definitely. The 3-year-old too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's going to happen, Felicia, is you have to retrain them.
Okay.
You have allowed them to disregard your sacred space, and they do what you allow them to do. And it isn't just little people who we allow certain things and train their behavior, but it's also older children, family members, husband, work, co-workers. So my daughters, when I wrote Sacred Pampering Principles, they were 5 and 3. And the best thing that happened to them is they were mothered by a sacred self-caring woman. They were mothered by a woman who was coming out of Rebu into the juicy woman paradigm. And part of that was recognizing that because I'm their mother, that doesn't mean they have access to my energy and time willy-nilly, that they don't just have access to my space. Oops, someone's going to have to mute. And so I train my daughters when mommy's door is closed. You knock. Come here, girls. You see, is the door closed or open? It's closed, mommy. And what do you do when it's closed? We knock. What do you do after you knock? You wait for mommy to say, who is it? Or daddy to say, who is it? Then you identify yourself. It's Kiana. It's Adara. It's Kenzie. Then you wait for mommy or daddy to say, come in. If we don't say come in, what do? You go back to your room. They learn that from age 3, 4, 5, and to this day, they still do that. But I had to train them to honor our space. Our bedroom is the king and queen's chamber. You as a child don't just get to come all up in here. You don't get to jump on our bed. You don't get to come in and use the master bath. That's for the king and queen. That's for the covenant partners. But I trained them in that. So they're not too young for you to start teaching them the sacred honoring of their mother's energy and space. And actually, this is the best time.
Okay, perfect.
But you want to be consistent because they will try you. Like if you say knock on the door, they'll try you because they're used to the come on in, bust on in. So you have to be very consistent. And after 3 times of being consistent, the retraining will click in.
Okay.
And do you have a partner or a husband or a spouse or anything?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that means they're coming into the shared sacred bedroom. Retrain.
Okay.
Retrain. And you and your husband need to be part of the retraining, not just you doing all the retraining work.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, ladies, it is now 20 minutes after the hour. I know some of you were on the East Coast, and it's what, 10? Is it 10:20? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I don't want to hold you any longer, but Felicia, one thing I'll mention is that what I'm talking about is retraining. But retraining is a result of the renewing of your mind. That is part of what happens in Juicy Woman University. You get to retrain, you get to renew yourself, and you get to shift your life. And oh, what a glorious thing it is.
Okay, I'm registered.
Okay.
I'm there.
Wonderful. Any other final questions?
Debrina, I have a question.
Yeah.
I just signed up for the Love Truths package, the telecourse.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was wondering, I just was really quickly looking at your website about the Juicy Woman University. Is this something that you can do at the same time, or should I just do the Love Truths and then, because I wanted to get your books and read your books as well.
So the Love Truths is very specific to love relationships, and Juicy Woman University is about your entire lifestyle. There's 8 life areas: mind, body, spirit, money, relationships, space, energy, and heart. 8 areas. So Love Truths is a very specific focused course. It's only 5 weeks, and it's on Monday nights. And Juicy Woman University is 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. So they're on different nights. They're not conflicting, and it's a lifestyle transformation 1-year program. So you definitely could take both, and you're only going to have overlap for February, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do both. If you have the bandwidth.
I got you. Okay. All right.
Good. I'm glad I have one different nights.
Thank you.
Oh, someone else said they were wondering the same. Yeah. So 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. And there's no other course really that I have found that's like it. Sean, would you like to add any comments?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm the one in here saying that it changed my life, because it did it. It's not that I'm hyping that up. Last year was rough. I think one of my sisters, because we're sisters in JWU, one of my sisters just said that, and it was rough. It was rough, and I really don't think. And I told all the sisters this. I really don't think I would have made it through as with such grace and ease if I had not have taken this course and learned how to slow down, how to say no. You know, honoring, just understanding what self-care means, that it ain't a massage and it ain't a pedicure. Come on. Not going spending some money that I don't have to make me feel good for a moment. It is a lifestyle. It is a practice. It is hearing your body, understanding, you know, paying attention to the small things that we rush past, and just really having an understanding that the way that the world tells us to live, the whole multitasking question, oh my gosh. The way that the world tells us to live is killing us.
Woo! Say that again. Yeah, the way that the world is telling us to live and showing us how to live is killing us.
It's killing us. And I'm telling y'all that, you know, what I found really interesting, and Debrina didn't get to touch on it, there's so much, y'all know she got so much knowledge, but there are levels. There's even levels to the Juicy Woman has levels, y'all.
Levels of juiciness.
There's levels to this. And, you know, it's just a life-changing, and I'm taking it again because I'm not at the epitome of the levels. And I want to get higher. So I'm going to go through the course another year. And some of my sisters, we going in again, because it's so much that we don't know, and we trying to do it all, and we're crying and we're failing and we're thinking that it's our fault, and it's not. We just need some new information. And I was telling some women this weekend, you know, why is it that we can finish each other's sentence on some of this stuff that our grandparents and our great-grandparents have passed down about cleaning your plate, you know, if a man don't hit you, he don't love you, all those cliches that we've heard over and over again before the internet was around. How about we get some new information and start transferring that down? How about somebody in our life, like us, me, get some information that I can then share with my 26-year-old and share with my 23-year-old, so that their hearts don't have to be broken the same way mine was and mama's was and grandmama's was. Just some new information. And if we have access, and it's not expensive, literally, I know I probably spend $100 in bought food in a week. So it's worth it, and it's life changing. It's just life changing. And I never get this passionate about this kind of stuff. Normally it's about business, And we'll spend money on business programs and coaching programs to help us make more money. But what about our life? You know, so this program is near and dear to my heart. I tell everybody about it. It has been transformative for everything. And I really, I have so many ahas that came out of it, and blessings, and, you know, business dealings, and just creativity, and just opportunity, because I was able to get still enough and get silent enough and have just more focus on what's important to my life, and not taking care of everybody else. But what about me, right? This I did for me. It was the best decision of last year.
Awesome. Well, hey, that is the perfect note to conclude on. And for those of you who are like, yes, I want to be part of this journey, if you go to milliondollarmentor.net and you read through all the wonderful, very comprehensive information about the course, we want you to understand fully what sets this apart from any other course I'm aware of. Then if you still have a question for me, just send an email to info@milliondollarmentor.net. But I don't think you will. So with that, ladies, thank you so much.
I've sent you an email, Miss Sabrina.
What'd you say?
I've sent you an email, hon.
Okay. All right, ladies. So have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Marissa. And let's stay connected, ladies. Have a great night. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good night.
Good night.